Guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. So those of you who've been watching the channel for a while now, I can't believe almost a year and a half old this channel, man. Started as kind of a second kind of side project, and now just thrilled with you guys, whether you're a new subscriber, an old subscriber, what we've been able to do here. It's been really fun. I absolutely love just covering this game on a daily basis with you guys. So I've been singing high praises over Doomscreech, a Void Affinity rare champion in the game, but I've never put my money where my mouth is, okay? So today I finally did that. Actually, a few days ago, I went and I built this champion out. I tried him everywhere, and today I am here to tell you guys I still rank him as a top 5 rare in the game. That's my, my personal biases, my personal preference. Right alongside Bellower, I guess, like a champion like Bellower, Apothecary, a champion like Reliquary Tender, the Cold Heart. Those are like the S tier rare champions in the game, in my opinion. And I do put Doomscreech in that category. In today's video, I'm going to tell you guys why. Hopefully prove it to you guys and make some of you guys a believer as well, right? So let's talk about his skills first. Scrabbling Claws. Attacks one enemy 2 times, a 2-hitter on the A1, has a 50% decreased accuracy, and that is on a 40% chance of landing. Easy champion to book out with rare books comparatively to epics and legendaries, obviously on your Doomscreech. Easy champion to ascend too. I mean, when I work on these rare champions for you guys, making these guides, it's really nice to not have to, get all those big greater potions or whatever on all these champions. Much easier to build rare champions to begin with. This Warning Screech ability is what really necessitates putting books into this champion. You don't really want to be using this guy without books. This ability is insane. Fills a turn meter of all allies by 30%, so that's a strong version of a turn meter fill at 30% on an AoE all allies, and then has a strong version of increased defense for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. Now we have a champion Barbarian called Marked, a rare champion, and she has to increase defense on a 3-turn cooldown, but that's it. We get the big boy version of the turn meter fill as well from Warning Screech. I'll tell you what, guys, Warning Screech is definitely one of the better, if not, it's in the conversation for best abilities for a rare champion, right? Kind of with Tender's Watch and Cold Heart's Heartseeker. This is a really good ability. And then Shelter, it's an AoE attack. I will tell you guys right out the bat here, very low multipliers on this, so don't invest too much to make him like a quasi-nuker on your team. You're not going to be happy with the results, although I will show you guys what kind of damage you can put out. Place a shield buff equal to 30% max HP on this champion for 2 turns. Damage increases according to this champion's current HP. So initially, before I did this guy, before I built him out, I thought to myself, dude, this is insane, man. If he has a ton of HP, he's going to be dealing like, he'd be a crazy nuker on this Shelter ability on top of that with the shield applied to himself. Just not the case, we're talking about like 10, 15k damage with 100% crit rate on this AoE attack on level 20 dungeons. His aura is HP and Faction Crisp by 21%. That could help you out, obviously, in Faction Crisp, and that's about it. For Masteries on this champion, you do have some options. I can definitely see you guys going Defense Tree with this champion. I decided to go with a War Master Mastery for his tier 6. Just, again, trying to push his damage, see what kind of damage can I depend on this champion on in various dungeons. So I did build him with War Master, and I kind of picked all these, you guys know I never advise you guys to blindly copy and paste Masteries. I never do it myself, so I kind of just go and I look through them all and I take 15 minutes and I think about it, right? Just think, So we ended with Lasting Gifts to extend the duration of increased defense, which is his primary buff, obviously. You could use Master Hexer on this champion too, because he does have the decreased accuracy, although it is, again, a 40% on his A1, so, that's up to you guys. I also went with Evil Eye on this champion, and again, just some general damage dealing abilities to add to that. I wanted to get his accuracy to around 200. That way he can consistently, land that decreased accuracy on his A1. I think I'm going to have him at around 190, but I do have Swarm Smiter, increased accuracy by 4 for each enemy alive, stacks up to 16, so take that into consideration as well. He actually will be over that 200 mark practically inside the dungeons. So in terms of his overall stats here, guys, let's take a look at how I built this champion out. I have him at 93% crit rate 193 crit damage, 192 accuracy, but again, that mastery will help him out, help him consistently land that A1. Keep in mind that decreased accuracy, that can land on like the dragon as well. Dragon, a lot of debuffs don't work, but it does work against dragon. Nice to have that as well, considering all the debuffs that she lands on you. Speed is going to be a pretty big priority. Speed boot's pretty much mandatory for this champion because he has that turn meter boost, and you want to make sure you're consistently having to increase defense and continuing to boost the turn meter of all your allies by 30%. That 30% turn meter boost is a really, it can't be understated how important that is in terms of, especially when you pair him with another, I was going to say free-to-play, but another champion like Apothecary on the same team. You're getting like the double turn meter boost, you're getting increased speed, increased defense, like all the buffs that you need in two champions. I'm going to definitely highlight him on the same team as Apothecary in today's video. Defense rather low at 1678. That's okay though, because we make up for it with a lot of HP, 70k HP, and because he naturally has a very high HP for a rare champion, especially at 20k, I took the liberty of putting him in a shield set, and I knew I wanted to get an HP banner on this champion as well. This is the only one I had. Sorry for one legendary piece on this champion. With my rare guides, I try not to put them in any legendary artifacts, but that's all I had for HP. So we went with the HP banner because what we're trying to do essentially is get between accuracy sets, between anything that we can kind of get our hands on, perception, whatever, we want to get his accuracy close to 200 for level 20 dungeons without having to put an accuracy banner on this champion, right? We want to get by with the HP banner, especially if we get double utility out of him being a support champion with the shield set. So he's going to have a really nice healthy shield at the start of each round that's going to help out a lot in progression. You guys know I'm a huge fan of the shield set, especially if you're struggling to progress in any area inside the game. It's nice that he's Void Affinity again, so you know there's no bad affinity matchups you have to worry about when you talk about Doomscreech, albeit he's a little bit more difficult to get. So I have crit rate on the gauntlets, I have HP on the chest, I have speed as I mentioned on the boots, I have HP, I have crit damage, and I have HP on the amulet banner and ring. Now guys, after seeing how pitiful his damage output is, to be honest with you, I think that it's worth mentioning that because his damage scales on HP anyway, and he has the shield set anyway, and he has the self shield as well, I think that it's worth considering just putting him in a HP, I don't even have any built out right now, but I think it's worth considering putting him in an HP amulet as well. So that's how I haven't built him out, guys. Of course, do what works for you. I could stand for his speed to be a little bit higher if I had to critique one stat on his overall kit here as well. But that's pretty much what I went with. And again here, if you want to totally sack any damage out of this champion, which I think is, again, it's an option for you guys, I would consider putting an HP percentage gauntlets on him as well and just make him an absolute tank and then look for more speed, right? So that's another option for you guys to go in terms of building this champion out. I have a couple teams ready for you guys to kind of show you what he can do. First, I went with an all-rare team in Dragon 20. As you can see, talking about, some of the best champions in the game for rare. I have them on a team kind of playing support role with Apothecary. I think they have a great natural synergy, these two champions together. Ward Maiden, Kale, and Reliquary Tender. That's going to be all the healing that I need. Keep in mind, again, I do have them in a shield set, so check out that nice beefy shield that we have on all these champions to start things out on, and you can kind of see where that shield meter is, what the HP of all my champions are as well. And, it's helpful, right? It's helpful, especially as we get to the second wave, just to make sure we keep everybody alive, although we do have a reviver if things do get kind of shaky here in Reliquary Tender. And you guys are going to see, if I haven't made you a believer yet on the channel in Reliquary Tender, then hopefully this video will do a good job of doing so, because she's an absolute just maniac in terms of support. I really do think that it's funny. Reliquary Tender is one of those champions, like Doomscreech, to be fair, that I took an early look at them, maybe a year ago, maybe when I was just starting the game 2 years ago, whatever, and I was just like, yeah, they don't really impress me that much. But now, the longer I play, and maybe you guys have champions like this too, right? But the longer I play, the more I respect what these champions bring to the table and how much of a difference maker they can be. So I feel that way about Doomscreech, and Doomscreech is not flashy. We do lose Kale there, but again, not a big deal. Doomscreech is not super flashy, right? He's not putting out tons of damage. He's not bringing... Well, he's bringing the increased defense, which is flashy, right? The 3-turn increased defense, as we already talked about, only Marked is the only other rare champion who has that ability, and you guys might not, those of you watching this video, might not have some of those OP legendary champions or epic champions that have that increased defense on a 3-turn cooldown. So I feel like Doomscreech is a perfect option for you guys, and you know, he's a really good option for Faction Wars too, right? Just having that extra support on the 3 turn. And again, we're losing Kale, what, 3 times now he's died here, so it is going to slow this run up quite a bit. I was running this run, I ran only 1 time before with this composition before I recorded today to make sure it worked, obviously, and we didn't lose anybody actually in that run, probably just got lucky, and it went about 3 minutes and 20 seconds, so suffice it to say this one's going to be a little bit longer. I have an Ice Golem team as well. I do have a couple daily login reward champions on that team, but I'm going to show you how you can essentially support that team as well. And again, that increased defense is just so key, and it's not, like I told you guys earlier, like I started to say earlier, it's just not flashy. You know, you're not going to, you know, the turn meter boost and the increased defense aren't going to come up in the stats. They're not going to pop out you at the end of the day on, you know, the box scores, right? So it's something that you don't really recognize or realize the full value that he brings to your team necessarily until you take him out or until you sub him in for another champion, kind of a flex champion on your squad. That constant every 3 turns turn meter boost is just really helpful. There you can see his shelter just land on the dragon for what, like 10k, 11k damage? Not a ton of damage. He's probably going to end this fight with around 600,000 damage, which again, it's not as weak as, say, a Reliquary Tender or an Apothecary, even with War Master, but it's not that much more that's worth, you know, me recommending you guys, yeah, this guy's like a damage dealer, go ahead and invest in him if you need some extra damage onto your team. He's really not like that. More of a support, more kind of keep the engine running smoothly type champion. So almost done here. Hey, even with Kale dying, it looks like it's still going to be around a 3 minute and 30-second run, which isn't too bad, right? So here we go, Wall of Fire. I think that'll be the last dragon attack. Now we just have to go ahead and chop her down, and we will be good to go. And Reliquary Tender, man, do you see her just stripping away all those poisons, guys? And just landing all those heals and reviving and just doing everything amazingly. Man. Anyway, Doomscreech, like we said, put out around 536,000 damage. Apothecary 121. Overall damage from Kale 1.5, 1.3 from War Maiden, and 481. So again, very comparable to Reliquary Tender. They both do have War Master. So again, you know, just kind of reiterating that same point, I've repeated like 5 times now. Not a big damage dealer for your squad. That's okay. He's going to be consistent. He's going to help you guys stay alive. So this team is really fun. We have still the Drakes. We have Dark Elaine as our only damage dealer on this team, really. I mean, Syl is going to help out as well. And then we have Tyrell helping out as our debuffer. And then we have, you can also run Stag Knight on this squad, but it's important to have a defense down. Otherwise, it's going to take you so much longer on this run. And then I've been saying for a long time, guys, you know, another champion that we talk about quite a bit here on the channel is Dark Elaine, man. She's a one trick, you know? She's really good at Ice Golem. And that's about it. I guess you could find some niche kind of like gold 4 and below, or maybe 3 and below uses in the arena for her against Torments and stuff like that. But ooh, this might be actually tricky here. We're definitely going to lose some. Oh, we have 2 revivers on the team, so we can't lose. We can't lose. So here, yeah, what I was saying is Dark Elaine will die a few times. No big deal. But man, you put your Dark Elaine in attack percentage boots, and you run her on your Ice Golem team. And the reason I say that is because her speed is not very important. You just want to stack as much, you know, ignore defense, attack percentage as you possibly can on Dark Elaine, because most of her damage is actually coming, and the reason she's such a great nuker, off that Death's Majesty ability when your allies get frozen, because it automatically procs when any of your allies gets frozen by the Ice Golem himself. So that's why she actually really works out well in this dungeon as, again, kind of a one trick. She's not I think she can stand kind of toe-to-toe to like a Royal Guard, actually, in this dungeon specifically. No other areas of the game, really. But it's cool because she's a daily login reward champion. Will help you out as well. And you guys can see pretty consistently, excuse me, pretty consistently we actually have the increased defense up on this team, thanks to Doomscreech. And again, I mean, I'll stop repeating it. This will be the last time I mention it, guys. But that increased 30% turn meter, man. It's just going to keep everybody going more and more often, and it's on a 3-turn cooldown, so I just can't I can't over enunciate how important that is going to be to your team overall. That consistent 3-turn 30%, really valuable to have. I should have probably ran him with Seeker to have like the double turn meter boost Undead Horde champions on the same team. Shame on me for not taking the opportunity to do that. I could have actually run them both on this team in place of Reliquary Tender. I could have ran Seeker and Doomscreech side by side, that probably would have been fun, man. There's always next video to do. But either way, you can see, very consistent here, right? This team, you know, we're not going to die, and that's the most important thing, especially for a dungeon like Ice Golem, where a lot of people wipe on the boss. It's nice to have a team that's very, I wouldn't say very free-to-play friendly, because we do have Tyrell on this team, but very consistent at the least, without using a bunch of legendary characters that aren't daily login reward champions, right? And I think that's what a lot of you guys should be looking at, is assembling a team like this, because you can run a team like this on auto attacks if there's a special Ice Golem event, and you're not going to die, which is the most important thing. Even if one of your champions does die, like we had in the second wave, it's cool. We have 2 revivers on this team. So this is a team that I would advise a lot of you guys to go ahead and build. And hey, maybe you have a better option in one of these spots. Maybe you can afford to take out a Reliquary Tender and put in another kind of, I don't know, or Miscreated Monster, for example, a more powerful support, damage dealer, CC type champion. So it's going to be a little bit longer here. This is so weird, because when I ran this team, it was a 3-minute and 20-second run before the video, and when I ran the Dragon team, it was longer and we didn't have any deaths, so you never know what you're going to get with RNG in this game. Either way, though, you can see a sub 4-minute run on Ice Golem 20, and I do feel like Doomscreech is a champion that is a bit of an unsung hero when it comes to epic champions inside the game. I think, again, he can help a lot of you guys out. He's strong. He has that self-shield as well, which you haven't really talked about on the shelter ability. So he's difficult champion to kill, even if you don't have super high defense on him like I don't. Just build him with a lot of HP. If you want extra utility out of him, go ahead and put that shield on him as well, and you'll be ready to rock and roll. You'll be pretty good, and you'll have a nice kind of consistent turn meter booster, and most importantly, the 3-turn increased defense if you don't have another viable option inside your champion collection. So, not the fastest run to be fair, but still, 4-minute and 30-second it looks like here on Ice Golem 20, but again, very consistent run. We were never really in jeopardy of losing here, and we do get that 6-star legendary weapon. Although I am not that enthusiastic about it. I might roll it up just a roll or two. Anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and end the video there. Hopefully you enjoyed this guide of Doomscreech. If you enjoyed the content here, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way till the end. I appreciate each and every one of you. And as always, take care, guys.